Now this was the Hiro Mishima style I was looking for, is what I want to say, but the ending of this chapter still hasn't put my worry to rest. Yes, it's me, the angry and offended despair, although I only review Eden Zero, although that's also going to be my final review. And in this one is The Flames of Homura, chapter 282. Homura was cut by Valkyrie as her overdrive fades and she once again becomes dying naked. I mean, she thinks she is dying. Even though she holds no fear of death, she worries for her crew. So she doesn't wish to die, she wants to live. So she wills herself in despite her massive wound. And she still clashes with Lady Freya, who accepts that the reason she didn't kill her outright was just a sign of respect. But then Lady Freya shows exactly what Valkyrie said. She said that Lady Freya was a master of all kinds of weapons. She throws many different weapons at Homura, who despite her wounds is still a disadvantage, even if she's continue using bows and many things more. But it still is a disadvantage of everything. At least from the beginning, when Homura begins to use her Tiger Claw mode, or the Tiger 6 Claw strike, she actually managed to crack the Valkyrie's armor. And then she deals a Dragon Flash, but which does not immediately let Lady Freya out, but it does crack her further, wondering how that is possible, saying that this is not about ether or power, it's more of the fact of combat abilities, in totaling heart, technique and body. And all that Lady Freya has is strength and technique and ether. She doesn't have heart, because after all, what she said, she was looking for a place to die. For her, might was everything else. And someone who wishes to not live cannot fully harness the power to evolve. And that is because she says, as Homura says, a heart makes its strength, because it makes no sense for someone who wishes to live to be beaten by one who wishes to die. And technique, the warrior style can produce every kind of attack, and body, a well-trained body yields to nothing. That would have actually worked even better if she wasn't really naked in that situation. But hey, it is what it is. As Homura proclaims herself that she is the Sword of Eden, after all, she was the next Valkyrie, so she clashes one final time with Lady Freya, as she actually remembers a teaching, probably from the old world, that Valkyrie actually taught her. A warrior maid style secret technique, which actually means belaze, which fits with Homura, as Homura is actually a node to fire. If you met, however, this actually brings a sort of conclusion to everything, sort of. As Homura said, she's weak to heated bath and everything else like that. Apparently, this is the reason why, because learning the secret ultimate technique comes with a weakness towards heat, fire, and heat, because she will be storing a flame inside of her for several years. But the reason why Valkyrie is not weak to this is because she has mastered it. But Valkyrie believes that this technique could be mastered by Homura, because after all, she is a human who can store flames inside of her. And that is actually the reason why Homura has always been weak to fire and flames, because she has mastered the ultimate technique that Valkyrie couldn't. Flame extolling blade, to create a fire bending like blade that actually cuts right through Lady Freya, causing her to explode. Finally winning, and this is the end of all the Horatio says Galactica. However, it is not the end of hope, of despair, because even as Homura has cut down Freya and effectively surpassed her teacher in fighting arts. That was a nice sound. Sound. I heard something in the background. What I'm trying to say is, Homura says she feels cold, which is actually a double reversion of everything else. Because she stored fire inside of herself, she probably always was warm. But as we all know, she also suffered a grievous wound thanks to Lady Freya, meaning that she feels cold. It's probably of a double thing that she has lost the fire inside of her, but also are slowly dying. Valkyrie knew that Homer was in trouble, but the problem is, can she rescue Homer in time? Only Sister and her healing can. But I'm skeptic. But as I said before, I'm glad that Hiroshima still kept his tradition in this one, faking us out with a total defeat and then suddenly turn it around. That has always been his shtick, and he should never end it. Although probably will end it with Dead Rock. But now but I still cannot calm down until I know Homer will be alive. So give me your thoughts if you have any. What are my thoughts about this? Well, again, fighting naked and all is actually should turn me on, but it sometimes also turn me a little off. Maybe it takes away the serious fightingness of the skill. But technically an android doesn't have clothes either, so I guess it's works in both ways around. And but I don't really mind the fire connection with Homer and everything else. So all in all, it is still a nice situation of fights. And even you have to say that yes, maybe it was one technique that finished Lady Freya, but it was still some clashes. Nothing is more satisfying than seeing an arrogant one get cut down. So in the end, the fighting naked thing, yeah, I don't mind it at all. Give me a false value.